Hello there, commanders, and welcome to the next battle from the War Games Institute tournament. And yes, I have finally done my research and I have realized that it is War Games Institute, not War Gaming Institute. I guess, well, 2 or 3 years playing under War Gaming has brainwashed me. I don't think that's the correct word, but anyway. We are here on match point for SUNTZU. We have won the previous battle. It is 1-0 at the moment. If SUNTZU wins this battle, SUNTZU wins the tournament. If SUNTZU loses, it goes into tiebreaker on Thermopylae. So, SUNTZU is going up here to the hill, pushing pikes through the center, infantry around. They're deploying LTIA alone on D. There's some reinforcements coming from Cheddar, Koi's going there, also spotting enemy cavalry. We already have first blood somewhere scored. Oh, that's probably here, yep. Who has charged into Sin's cavalry. Oh, then charge just walked into him. Ooh, that's kind of a trap that he has walked into. Anyway, fighting is breaking out in the middle. Pikes and dogs pushing forward through the center. We actually didn't get a pike phalanx for Solkung, and this pike phalanx is kind of useless as it isn't engaging anything. Mishu is here to provide some damage, friendly fire. Blinton here, nicely charging Cure in the back. And Mishet Arclinon already walking straight onto the point. Magic is going there to intercept with his pikemen, but he's being engaged by dogs, he's reached by Arclinon, he cannot go into pike phalanx. He's getting a flank applied, roar, but it's not enough to rout him. In the meantime, the forces on the hill are getting erased by Mishru's javelins. Can the pikes be routed? No, still 4 morale. He's not being reached, he still has access to... Yeah, there we go, hold the line. But it's still only 1 unit, as long as everything else can be kept away and these pikemen killed. There we go, re-flank will be enough. All 3 flanks need to be applied. It's routed and B is being captured. That being said, D is has already been captured by White Wolf's team, so SUNTZU is at a disadvantage at the moment, but B is going to be flipped anytime soon. I mean, it has been flipped, it's going to be captured. Magic is desperately trying to right-click ahead to start contesting the point. Can he do it in time? Getting very close, and he wasn't close enough. Although he got half of his unit on top of the point, it wasn't enough, the center wasn't there. So now fighting for C is going to break out. 20 seconds until it is unlocked, and the only unit from SUNTZU in there is Oft Quo Cavalry. Mishu is coming in there, providing hurl, getting some nice damage onto the enemy archers and cavalry, but it is not going to help, not going to be enough. Solkung is there, but he's not pushing, he's going to be intercepted by Sin, deploys to studio to not suffer any damage from Mistru. Mistru is also being shot, no, that's Solkung being shot by enemy archers. And SUNTZU is healing up after getting D, cleaning up Magic and Cure, and then going towards C, but C is already unlocked and the last unit in there is just Quo, who cannot do much. They're attacking from both sides. LTIA and Haxor and Blinton are all going from the right side. Cheddar, Arcleon, Mishet, Blinton all coming from the left side. Mishu here trapped now between cavalry and archers. He managed to avoid cavalry. The cavalry has been heavily punished for its charge, but it achieved its purpose, and Mishru's javelin were exposed to Tony's barrage, and that just spells a very quick end for him. Blinton and Haxor are now arriving here from the right side, LTIA as well. Haxor sending his dogs ahead, Mishet MVP getting his elephant on top of C, preventing it from being captured for the time being. Dogs are getting there, but base is being captured by 3, 4, 5 units. Quo has recalled to be able to prevent and contest it, and LTIA is recalling, although SUNTZU could have really used this pressure over here. And Mistru could easily also spawn at the base, but he decides against it. A very questionable decision, but they're putting priority on top of C. In terms of White Wolf's forces at C, they're committing quite heavily to this base capture. And if you look at the White Wolf's forces inside C, they are quite weak compared to SUNTZU. They have 2 units over here, 1 unit over here. Mishu is getting some really serious lags because he cannot properly maintain his PC. So he very much apologizes for that. Mishet's elephant is about to be finished by archers. Blinton is keeping away the archers so that they cannot contest. We have only 2 units left to rout. Can they actually get... There we go, they got a rout here on IMF. They need to rout the other 2 units or just straight up kill them. And the point will be theirs, but Ravage is coming with his cavalry. Tony, well, he can contest the archers, but he can provide some damage onto Blinton. Razmata Blinton is just going to turn around and charge, but that has been stopped by Hamstring. Very nicely timed by Tvieja is Spanish. Ravage charged in and probably off. No, he did not. Can he be Viched before he can? He's coming with another unit of cavalry, and now it is reversed. Now SUNTZU is in largely of control of C with their infantry, and it's on the oath cavalry from the opponent team, preventing the capture. Although it is not still in oath, it's just being Viched for the time being, but Vichy is not going to last long. They just need to deal a lot of damage in as short time as possible before any enemy reinforcements arrive. Quad almost found a charge here onto Tony, but he is very much pressured. Arcleon and Quo are closing in on him, and they're not going to be stopped. But the 2 cavalries are still alive. Still no oath in here, probably on cooldown. There we go, that unit has an oath, but it could be pushed away or just killed. It is facing glaives after all, and here in the base we see SUNTZU slowly but surely mopping down the forces that have been sent to capture it. That being said, while that's happening, those forces are also not contesting C, so SUNTZU is putting away the pressure, and White Wolves, who have respawned here over a D, are now coming in, swarming the C. C has been flipped, or rather cleared from the red team's units, but Ravage again manages to get his unit in. It's flanked. Can it oath? Can it not oath? Can it be routed? There we go, it's going to rout, but another MF unit, can it be intercepted? Arcleon, he cannot charge, he doesn't have that charge. And MF makes it at the very last second. Cheddar and Arcleon have failed to intercept him. Koi is coming in there. Can he provide a war cry to rout it and secure C for SUNTZU? Sin is coming with 3 units. C is now being slowly captured, but IMF still refuses to rout. Mishet and Solkung are going to intercept Sin. Pike Phalanx. No Pike Phalanx from Solkung. Mishet's Elephant is not going to be enough to stop an infantry coming onto the point, and Sin is in there. IMF, can he finally be routed? No, he still has 2 morale. Mistru is coming in there, but Mistru is going to be countered by enemy archers if they're not being taken care of. Quo is sending his units to G. Mistru is providing damage, clearing out scene. IMF still not routed, and we see already 3 units of pikes incoming from the White Wolves base towards C, and archers are there. Mistru needs to get out, he can't provide any more damage on scene, and he is being slowed by his own foolish use of her. That makes sense, SUNTZU reinforcements are also arriving. Blinton, Haxor Ninja sending his units, their units. Haxor forgot to heal one of his units apparently. Cheddar and Solkung arriving as well, so C is still being very largely contested and undecided. SUNTZU is a fraction away from capturing it, but as long as White Wolves are able to provide units on top of the point, it is not going to be captured by SUNTZU. So it's still 2 points versus 2. SUNTZU is contesting D with something, and White Wolves are trying to contest B, but Cheddar and Blinton are there to prevent the enemy cavalry from attempting to do so. Meanwhile, SUNTZU cavalry has managed to get on top of D, but obviously it is cavalry in a forest. It's not going to last long, even in off. LTI is pushing against Vieja and is pushing to the capture point itself. C is the most important thing that both teams are pouring all the resources they can into. Mishu is going in there, provide some buffs, provide some damage. It is really going to be all about C. Who can flip it, who can secure it, is going to have a huge advantage going forward. Archers is still being kept away quite skillfully by Mishet, LTIA and Quo. It is but another 3 units of Morhun are coming into C. Mishu is trying his best to provide some damage. He needs to erase these pikes. And C again, almost captured, but then Morhun and Antonio Maki are arriving, and they will get on top of C and reinforce it. Can SUNTZU get some equal reinforcements? Blinton isn't coming, but only 1 unit. Solkung is in phalanx over there, busy. The healing is being denied here by Ravage. Haxor Ninja is cutting him down, and Ravage is forced to retreat. Vedar is going to bring his units back. There we go. Putting 1 on top of B, sending another 1 to C. Mishu is also forced to retreat. Ravage is threatening him, but Haxor Ninja intercepts him with his dogs, and he's going to be routed, and Mishu will be able to heal. Blinton and Solkung also retreating, and it's now again a reverse situation. Cheddar the only one left -1 morale. Can he get God of War? Probably on cooldown. Otherwise he would have used it. And that is not going to be enough. Oh! He dropped the flanks because flanking system in Arena is very reliable way to deal with units, yes. Blinton has managed also to charge in, and Solkung is now right-clicking forward. The tactic we've all seen bringing MVP performances to every team. Gets on top of the point, and point will be contested. Can SUNTZU mount another wave of reinforcements before these units are killed and routed? Solkung, here's Leonidas. Both God of War and Hold the Line applied. Well, he's not going to rout, but he is going to die if he doesn't get reinforcements anytime soon. Axel Ninja has already sent his dogs ahead and coming in with his infantry. Cheddar doing the same. On the enemy team, the reinforcements are also incoming. Magic retreating. Tony is being denied the pressure. Arcleon coming from the base and is going to pressure the archers further. Or possibly attack C from behind. Mishet recalling to base. Quo going back to hill. Blinton, Solkung, Haxor again going in, but Mishu has went ahead. The team really needed pressure on C, but the infantry wasn't there. So Mishu again foolishly is going to die. Haxor Ninja sending his dogs, but dogs are definitely not enough, and 2 war cries used at the same time are definitely will be enough to finish Mishu off. Well, to rout him. He needs to run away and survive. But that being said, point C has been cleared out of SUNTZU units, and now White Wolves are going to secure it. And that very slight 30 points of advantage that SUNTZU had is now going to be wasted. And White Wolves are getting 100 points, 3.3 per second for the White Wolves, only 2.0 for SUNTZU. Mishu retreating, going to heal. What do we have here? Blinton, Cheddar, Quo incoming, coming from the right side. Phalanxes very nicely engaged here from the front, providing some flanking as well. Solkung, he will be routed despite despite Hold the Line. He has been flanked from all 3 possible sides somehow by 3 units. And yep, he's going to be routed. Morhun, same. So the fight is still equal. Solkung protecting the rear of the rest of the team. Cavalry still in off in here in Tolgras, denying that approach angle from the left side. SUNTZU is already on top of C, but it is locked for even 35 more seconds, so it is not going to be contested until it becomes unlocked. And that provides also a very nice healing zone. Now SUNTZU needs to be wary of enemies incoming both from the right side from D and the left side from C. Cure is going to get healed there. There's nothing to stop him. Mishu is not close enough to provide missile damage, missile disruption. Ravers is still trying to hunt him. She's going to erase his 2 units and deal a shit ton of damage to his friendly dogs for some reason. He apparently really hates them. Raverage's unit has unrouted, and Blink and Haxor need to help him. BD and Dash, there we go, that will be enough to get them in front in time. And that cavalry is going to be possibly wiped out, meaning that the cavalry pressure will be gone from the map for the White Wolf side for a few seconds. No, he's routed but not finished off. Can Quo do it? B is not under pressure anymore. Cheddar and Blink have skillfully dealt with those players trying to attack there. But C, well, now is being contested, but until it is flipped, that healing zone is going to provide a huge advantage. Mishet again with his elephant on top of D, fighting IMF 1 versus 1. Anthony Mackie is showing up with his Hannibal Spears though, and that is going to spell a very quick end to Mishet's elephant. Mishet and Quo also holding any reinforcements coming to C there with the cavalry and sword Hannibal units. But there's not much to reinforce there on top of C, only LTIA and Archelon barely hanging with their units barely alive, possibly close to below 10 models. There we go. Mishu providing some damage onto Cure. Healing zone is now being denied slightly by the dogs. Quo tried to oath in there but didn't manage to, or just didn't have the oath. Either way, it will mean that cavalry and other players will be able to heal over here at C. Binon charges in, doesn't use Pila, maybe doesn't have it. Haxor and Jason coming with his handlers, maybe trying to go around the healing zone and deny it from both sides. But just the amount of units that White Wolves have in this area is overwhelming for SUNTZU. Mishu is getting wrecked again, getting spotted, doesn't know how the vision system works inside Tallgrass, needs to run away, and it will be easy prey to enemy cavalry. Doesn't even need to, the archers will finish him off anyway. Oh, okay, they're changing their minds and they will let Mishu live in shame. Koi is forced to heal all the way back at their base. At SUNTZU's base, Mishu is going back to heal as well. SUNTZU has no pressure over C at the moment, and White Wolves are getting ahead in the points. And White Wolves are now maybe looking to pressure B to even get their advantage even even further ahead. Casting everything solo is very demanding on my throat apparently, and I suck at it. Anyway, Ravrage is trying to get his cavalry on top of B. SUNTZU have seen him. Grammar is also not my forte. Yep, Ravrage was coming in here towards B, but Cheddar has read his movements, has read his intentions, and is ready to intercept him. Ravrage is going to charge Sokung in the back while he's being shot. Pike Phalanx and turn around, there we go, rather first turn around, then Pike Phalanx, really nicely caught in there. Not enough to rout him though. Cheddar is going to intercept him from behind. There is no way to slow him down though to finish off the kill. And the damage has been mostly equally traded. SUNTZU still with no pressure on top of C. They're mounting an attack now from the right side. Mishu is coming in there again with LTIA this time and core support. Can they actually deny the archers to even let Mishu do anything? Pikes in the tall grass. That is going to be a very tough opponent. Find the Shade has been called out as they... Did they see the Javelin coming, or is it just a guess? Maybe it was just because of the pillar, but that is an opportunity that Mishu is not going to waste. He uses Vici, gets close enough to deny the possibility of going to Phalanx, and there we go, it is engaged. He needs to be wary of the archers, needs to run away, know how the vision system works, and stay away from the enemy infantry that can spot him in the tall grass. Healing at Steve is being denied by Quo, but then again no one is really trying to heal there. But there are only 2 units now trying to defend D. Maybe SUNTZU can flip them, as Arkinon and Mished are coming in there, and it will be 6 versus 1. Antonio Macchi is retreating. Quo can intercept him, but that is going to be off cavalry versus triple Hannibal spears, so that is not going to last for a very long time. Magic spikes are also a factor. They're using the elephant. No, they're using the elephant to maybe stop them. No, Quo needs to intercept here. They cannot get the pikes onto the point if it is going to be flipped. Arkinon going around. Does he have enough speed to actually intercept the pikes? Let's look. They are still engaged. They cannot go into Pike Phalanx. Can they be Vici'd? No, they go into Pike Phalanx despite being Vici'd. I mean, Pike Phalanx has went earlier, but they were still engaged. So there we go. Arena again working as intended. And by that being said, the effect is that Pikes are on top of D, and Hannibal, even though pulling through and suffering a lot of damage, has also managed to get himself on top of D. So it is not going to be flipped. It is going to be an equal fight. We'll revisit it later. In the meantime, Mishu still staying alive in the tall grass, but that being said, he cannot really provide anything as long as these archers are free to roam. But that pressure has been applied to C again. Quo roaming around, going back to B. Cheddar is in trouble there, so he is going to save the team if he gets there on time. Cheddar unrouted, Solkong is providing his his reinforcements as well. Blinton going back to heal will be able to help as well. Cure going in over the healing zone. Get somebody deny. Cheddar and Blinton would be able to if they get there in time. Solkung, can he get into Pike Phalanx? Does at the very last time after he already got charged. But the order has been called, and C is now looking to be flippable. There are only again 3 units on top of C with low low health. Only 1 unit of archers to deny Mishu's Javelin, and he uses the combo of Trilobird arrows plus Herald that gives him an equal range compared to archers. But then, that being said, it is only for a very short amount of time. Mishu is providing flanks, exposing himself to Ravrage's charge, but Solkung MVP there. Pike Phalanx disrupting the enemy charge, allowing Mishu to rout the 2 units, and now point C has been cleared of the White Wolves units. Solkung still keeping Ravrage away with his Pike Phalanx, Quo charging in just for good measure, and C is going to be flipped. No, Ravrage has managed to get himself inside, but then again, he got killed. Can C be captured? Mishu is staying in there, even if it means taking damage from the archers. There we go, Trilobates getting close to archers. Quo is also sneaking through. Can he get a charge? Mishu gets a volley off. That largely misses anyway, but C is now been flipped to SUNTZU, and they have 200 points disadvantage that they need to get back. They are still being contested by Arcleon and Mished, but their forces are going to be slowly cut down. The Pikes have proven to be too OP in there, but SUNTZU now has access to the healing zone, and as it looks right now in terms of points gain, it is going to be SUNTZU's victory, but it's still very far away. Both teams are more than 1000 points away from securing victory and still very much close, within just 100 points of difference between the two teams. SUNTZU pushing with Phalanx here against Sin together with LTIA. White Wolves are going to White Wolves are going to replenish and heal over at D. Quo is roaming around, preparing. It is just a very brief lull in the battle, where both teams are going back to heal after a point has been flipped. So it's now a slow relief period. White Wolves need to reorganize, regroup, and launch another powerful attack on C, or maybe B, or maybe on the base. But they need to do something, because if they don't, they're going to lose as it looks right now. SUNTZU going into the Pike Phalanx, but IMF quite skillfully going around him, but there are reinforcements coming. Haxor is going to put his dogs on top of IMF's infantry to deny any possible flanking. SUNTZU also has managed to turn around. Magic is coming from the left side. Archers here are on the right, trying to get into range to attack Mishu, but they're being held back by still LTI and SUNTZU. They're barely alive though, so Mishu doesn't have much time to provide his damage. But he is going to do as much as possible here, wiping out IMF, making sure that C, even though it is now unlocked, is not being able to be contested. Here are another unit of pikes in the shade. Is an opportunity to use Vici. Can they do it? SUNTZU is approaching with his own phalanx. Vici is being used. There we go. And the unit cannot go into Pike Phalanx. Now is this going to be crushed by SUNTZU's phalanx of his own. But that being said, the SUNTZU infantry and LTI that were holding off the enemy archers have died. Mishu didn't see that coming and now has lost half of his HP. Retreating to the tall grass, being under fire, and Ralph Rage is already seeking the opportunity to kill him. Cheddar is coming to B. They're launching maybe a small attack on B. They are. The base is under pressure as well. Cure is now being cut down here by Blinton. Magic is going towards B. Cavalry trying to get a charge through to Mystery again, but SUNTZU again, a very similar parallel we see. SUNTZU stopping the charge with Pike Phalanx, Mystery using Trilobate plus Hurl to get inside of the archer's range and be able to provide damage on them, as Quo has managed to find a charge, thread the needle. Just look at how many infantry units are in here, and Quo, despite all of that, still managed to get a charge on them, saving Mishu's life in the process. Mishu is still alive, and now that SUNTZU controls the C point, they have a healing zone very, very close instead of going all the way back here to the hill to heal. Haha! Very two similar words. That being said, these archers are still close enough to actually be able to deny the healing zone. Morhun is pushing in Sin as well. They don't want to let SUNTZU to heal. As long as they can provide vision, the archers will be able to deny healing. That is going to be a problem, so archers need to be dealt with. Is there anything SUNTZU can do? Archleon is close. There's a huge force of infantry in there that will be able to pressure the archers, but it is matched by White Wolves infantry contingent. And Tony, even with just one unit, it just needs one arrow to hit. There we go. Heals one with Mistru. Mistru managed to heal one of them. Now he's shooting Mishet, possibly. Vision has been denied. Morgan has been stopped here in his tracks. As soon as he drops below 10 models, he will not be able to provide any more vision. But SUNTZU has already managed to heal back up. Only 2 units for each team on top of C, sending reinforcements. SUNTZU are sending reinforcements. Antonio Maki is not going to be enough. Also, all White Wolves reinforcements are being kept away from C. So that once these 2 units are being, once these 2 units will be dead, will be killed, C is not going to be contested anymore. Any sort of reinforcements that could come from the base side are being held by Cheddar now in the base as he's threatening the capture. B is possibly going to be contested soon. Blinton is trying to get a heal, but Ravage is going to intercept him. Cheddar is coming off of a point, but he sees 3 units of swords incoming to B, so B is now being put under pressure as White Wolves have realized that maybe C is not going to be possible for capture. Mishit is sending his elephant to D to contest. Antonio Maki is there with his Hannibal Spears, a very good counter. Boy is just waiting around bushes to find his opportunity. Archers are now largely exposed, only 1 unit of Foxmen protecting them, and a huge amount of infantry from the SUNTZU side providing pressure. Can they maybe disengage, keep the foxes busy, but the foxes are just quite skillfully protecting the archers in this very small, narrow corridor between the 2 cliffs. The dogs are being sent in there. They cannot react to everything, and Quo has found another unprotected archer unit. There we go. That was a very difficult thing to say, apparently. C is still being contested. Sin in here, cutting out down Sin, and well, it is actually equal, but SUNTZU has a lot of reinforcements in the area, so C is not really much under threat. But speaking of points being under threat, B has now been launched a huge push against it. Blinton and Cheddar trying to make it in time, trying to get on top of the point. Blinton healing up here, Mistru as well. Retreating from C, so C may be again capturable, but that being said, Koi is doing a great job at charging Tony in here. So C is mostly under control. The main fight is now going to break out for B. Blinton going around, he needs to get inside the point. Cure is moving against him, just right click is quite OP. Blinton managed to get a charge, but it's not charged in the correct direction. That exposes Cure to Mistru's fire though. There we go, Cure is going to take a lot of damage, but there's no more infantry from the SUNTZU side, as all of it is trying to just get inside the point. Koi is still off, but he's facing pikes and pike phalanx. Blinton is being held away by Cure and AMF here on both sides. Solkung is incoming with his own pikes, but Mistru is being chased away by Cure's infantry. Assault being launched as a charge, Mistru will not be able to move for a while. And Mistru is absolutely needed to face against the enemy pikes. Pike phalanx is pike phalanx, shield bash by magic, but Solkung has already 4 chevrons of XP, while magic has only 2. Solkung is pushing through. Blinton also, he just right click here on Cure, manages to finally cut down IMF to low enough numbers so that he can push through, but magic is in there and Blinton's unit is still not inside B. That being said, this unit has managed to go inside B despite being surrounded and faced by 2 units of infantry. The third one has been launched to keep Mistru away, even managing to rout 1 unit, but as soon as they drop below 10 models, which is now, it exposes them to a flank. But Mistru is still going to be busy. Solkung, can he get on top of the point? B is being flipped, the spawning zone has been denied, but Cheddar has managed to spawn 3 full units of his just the very last second. Quo, who tried to heal in here, out of the hill, cannot do so. So that is going to be 3 in the night. B is almost being flipped. Blinton charges in very last moment, but it's still not being secured. Blinton's unit is almost dead, only 12 models. Cheddar sacrificing himself, pulling through a pike phalanx that is never going to be healthy, but he just does what needs to be done, and he manages to get half of his unit on top of the point to be able to hold it. It's possible to buff his allies' morale with God of War, so even if Blinton is below 10 models, he's still not going to rout despite being intimidated. And he can keep his vengeance going for all that matters. Mishu has dealt with the infantry that is chasing him and is now providing his damage here. The only unit left by the White Wolves on top of B is the Pike Phalanx. Can they find any reinforcements? I guess I should have enabled the Fog of War, but I didn't. C is being completely exposed right now. White Wolves are trying to get the units on top of there. Haxor is sending his units. Koi is going in there as well. Can he charge and prevent them from getting on top of C? B has been cleared. Magic almost routed but pushed out of the point. They go routed and doesn't look like White Wolves are sending any more reinforcements to B, but now they are contesting C. But SUNTZU is there in large force able to respond, and Morhun will not be able to capture it together with Sim, as Arclinon, Quo, Haxor, and LTIA and Solkung are all responding and will be able to hold the point. And now that B has been captured, it's 2.2 points per second for SUNTZU, only 2.0 for White Wolves, and just with 40 points left to secure, SUNTZU is going to secure another 2-0 victory in order to complete its undefeated run throughout the tournament and walk away with the trophy. I mean, I wish we had a trophy, but we don't. And the music just ended, so it's a perfect time to say goodbye. I will see you on Arena's battlefields, Commanders. And the music started. Yeah, you know what to do to help us bring Arena back to the West. It was a really good tournament, so huge thank you to War Games Institute, a Chinese content creator. We could call him a YouTuber, but well, he's operating on the Chinese YouTube called Bilibili. But he is a Chinese content creator, and well, it's good to see that, you know, the scene there is actually flourishing, even though we had 2 Western units scoring it off in the finals. But the Chinese teams are there, they're performing really well. Here they have been wiped out 2-0 by us in the semi-final, and in the previous tournament they managed to get into the finals, where they went against a Russian team and went 1-2. So yeah, the Chinese are definitely up there contesting, and they're not that far behind the Western teams. But that has been the report from this tournament. I will probably upload some kind of highlights. We'll see what is going to be done with these. But yeah, once again, thank you very much for watching. It was a great tournament, great fun, and I will see you again on Arena's Battlefields Commanders.